Now, this is because of the leap year. Normally, we have our first event, the first meeting of the month is the meeting where we do the training, but because it's a leap year, we're actually starting in February and it's going to throw off the rest of the year. So the campaign just lines up where we always have the meeting at the close of that campaign. So campaign, I think 4 closed on Tuesday. Is it 4? Let me see, what day is today, right? Yeah, campaign 4 closed on Tuesday. We're just starting campaign 5, so we have our team meeting. So today I'm actually going to be doing a training. As we mentioned earlier, we're gonna be skipping through the recognition portion, and I will post all of those to Facebook. So for anybody who's watching who's not part of the Facebook group, make sure that you join the Facebook so that you can see, past trainings and you can see the alerts for the events that we're having, but you can also log in to the dashboard at any time. I have archived all of the videos. I'll upload them to YouTube. If you subscribe to YouTube, you can just see it posted to the channel. But if you haven't subscribed, you can also see it on the dashboard along with all the other videos. So why don't we just go ahead and get into our training for tonight. So one of the things that I've been working on for years, it's something that keeps coming up, not just in Avon, but in my day job, it's marketing. How do we find clients? How do we promote ourselves? And it's always a question that comes up. And for, when we do our Q&A, I noticed that we keep getting a lot of the same questions and the same challenges. And I'm always thinking, how can I put together training and information and education for the team to help you overcome those hurdles. That's my job as the mentor, not to do the work for you, but to help you find the resources that you need. So I shared an article to the Facebook group yesterday. I encourage you to check that out. There are a couple of things that come with a mindset of being in the right place as a representative. So today we're going to be taking notes. Let me see if I can get it to work. There. Um, so today I'm going to be writing out for you and doing some notes. Let me know for those of you who are on, just give me a quick nod if you can see the note page. If not, you might need to swipe left or right. Okay, great. So you can see that. So there are a couple of things that you have to put yourself in the mindset of even before you begin. And there are a couple of things that you need to be clear on. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. So when you first get started with an Avon business or really anything that you're doing, but our focus here is on Avon. When you first get started, you really have to be clear about your goals, your intentions. Warning also, I can't talk and spell at the same time. So so if you see something that looks wonky, just bear with me. We're doing a lot. Managing Zoom, managing the chat, managing my notes. Just bear with me. Forgive me. Give me a little grace. So you hear me ask a lot, what are your goals? When sometimes people will ask me a question and I'll say, well, what is the purpose? What is the goal? What do you want to get out of it? Because that changes not just the actions you take, but it's going to form the decisions that you make, So one thing that I think everybody should get used to being clear on is when you start an Avon business, what purpose? What's your purpose here? Are you a customer? MER? Are you a customer rep? Are you a salesperson / order taker? Or are you coming in as an entrepreneur? Now, neither one of these is bad. They're just different. So a customer rep is a person who's coming in and looking for discounts. You want to get your, well, DISCOUNCS. You want to get your percentage off of your products for yourself, your family. Maybe you have a couple of loved ones, they want to place their order through you. And that income that you get from those sales is going to be kind of filtered through the lens of your discount too. All of whatever money you make, you're going to funnel back into your business and use it to offset the cost of the things that you're buying for yourself, right? Now, a person who is a sales slash order taker, maybe you've come in to make extra income. Maybe your goal is more for short term, two words, short term. Maybe you have like a quick goal that you want to make. Maybe there was a young lady who we had join our team a few years ago. She was a senior in high school. She wanted to save up just enough money to pay for her pictures in her senior prom. I've had people come into the business, they want to buy a new car. They have a specific goal, a short term goal that they're working towards, that they just need to make enough money to do that thing. I let here on the team, she's shared in the past, she started her Avon business, the first time to do some cruise, to do some wedding, there were little expenses that she wanted to offset. So she started her business. So usually our sales slash order takers are the people who they just want to share the brochure, get some orders, make some money, get in and get out. Sometimes it's not even short term, but it's just more in line with being a hobby, something that maybe you were more serious about it in the past, and now you're transitioning into a phase in your life where you still have customers who want to place their order with you. So you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll take the orders since I have them. Um, or maybe you're a customer rep who is looking for you want your discount, but since people at your job are coming to you for orders, you're like, okay, well, yeah, I'll take that extra cash. If I can get a little extra money, I'm good with that. But the mindset is little extra, short term. Um, you know, it's different from an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, a rep who's coming in with that entrepreneur mindset, is a rep who is, first of all, in it for the long haul. They're building a business, they're investing in themselves, in their future, those long-term goals. This is, I'm saving up for retirement. I'm saving up to leave my job early. I want to retire my husband or my spouse. I want to put the kids through college. We're talking 4 or 5 years, depending on how many children you have. Sometimes it's more. But these are people who are looking at the business differently. So I hope you ladies are, you people, I hope you're starting to see how each of these will create a different approach to the business. So here's sometimes where we get into a sticky situation because sometimes we're in a meeting and we're talking about, do this, get out there. You need to have 500 customers. You need to have 1,000 customers. You need to, you know, all this stuff. And a person who's maybe a customer rep is like, well, that's not me. That's not what I'm here for. So I'm not going to do the training. I'm not going to do the workshop. I should also say the entrepreneur is here for growth. And that's really a part of investing. But also, sometimes on the flip side, someone might come in with the behavior of a customer rep and be of the mindset, well, I don't have any goals. I You're not saying that you just want the discount, or you're not saying that you just want to make a little extra money, but the actions you're taking, not doing the trainings, not investing in your growth. You're saying you want to make the income of a sales or order taker or an entrepreneur, but the actions and the behaviors that you're taking are more in line with the customer. So I wanted to put this out there today and really get everyone to take some time, like be clear on your goals and intentions, and also make take the time to do it often, because as your life changes, as your environment, your situation changes, you might need to reevaluate this. When I first started as a high school student, I was in the category of sales slash order taker. I just needed enough money to offset the cost of my books and brochures, my books and my textbooks and my supplies for school. I was just collecting orders from the people around me. Um, Then as I started to realize that there was extra money that could be made, as I started to gravitate towards leadership, I started to take on an entrepreneur mindset for this business. I have representatives. There are some of you on the team. You While you were in that work season, you were in that entrepreneur mindset. You hustled, you made your money, and you got to the point where you're retiring. You made the money to retire, and you did that. And now you're in the stage of either a customer rep or sales order taker. You've adjusted, you've built your business as an entrepreneur, and now you've transitioned into another stage. So it's important to evaluate yearly or quarterly where you are and what your situation is. Sometimes life happens. Maybe something happens in your life. I'll be honest. Well, not really. I didn't completely transition out of the entrepreneur stage because I've always been in leadership. But when my family lost their house to the fire, that year of 2019, I said to my customers, I need you to place your orders online. I'm here to help you if you have questions. For those of you who are on my team then, I was like, I'm here for you. If you have questions, text me, but I can't go in like I used to. I have to focus on getting my family in their business. So even though I was in that entrepreneur mindset, I still did trainings, still did workshops. My energy level dropped down to like closer to the space between sales and order taker. So there are shifts, but you have to be mindful of where you are because, again, it affects your actions, the actions you take, it affects the decisions you make. And the clearer you are on just where you are in these three phases, it will help you manage your expectations. Because if you're coming into this business and saying, I want to make $500 a week, I want to make $1,000 a week, but your behaviors and your mindsets are in line with being a customer rep, there's going to be a discrepancy that is going to cause frustration, disappointment, and burnout. And I don't want that for everyone. So it's so much better to just be clear on where you are and keep that constant check to make sure that you're in alignment with that your actions are in alignment with one of these stages. And remember, again, none of these are bad. It's not bad to be a customer rep. We've got a lot on the team who want their discount. We love you. You come, you shop. Maybe you don't shop every campaign. You shop once or twice a year. Great. No problem. We have our entrepreneurs, the people who are go hards, who are doing their training online. We love that. We brainstorm, we connect. I see many of you multiple times a week when it comes to that. I see you in other meetings and other trainings. I see you reading the Tony Robbins books and the Gail Nightingale and the Gay Hendricks and the what's his name, TD Jakes, and all of these trainings. But it depends on where you are. So another thing, customer rep, usually no goals, because your main goal is to just make your discount. This is where you want to be. So you don't have necessarily sales goals or earnings goals. It's whatever discount you get, your 20 to usually it's most of our customer reps are earning about 20%. Your 20% is good enough. And 20% off of all the products you're buying, it adds up to a decent savings for many of you. I know many reps who are President's Club or above, just for buying products for themselves and their family. A sales or order taker is more in the what I call goals question mark. May or may not have a goals or a strategy, because it's really just, I'm just collecting the orders. I'm just collecting what I get. I'm not strategizing. I'm not really planning in advance, not trying to build my customer base. I get what I get and I'm happy with whatever it is, right? So I call that the goals question mark category. The entrepreneur is in the space where it's goals. Yes, 100%. Because as a business, I know I need to have goals. I know I need to have a strategy. I know I need to be able to innovate so that I could survive the winters. Because, like I said, entrepreneurs are in it for the long haul. So you want to be in a place where you're surviving whatever storm life or what's happening in the world or in the community or in the business throws at you. Your focus is less on, oh my gosh, this is all the things that are happening, and more on finding solutions. So I can usually sometimes even hear, and I was having this conversation with someone else who is an entrepreneur, and they brought this up, and I was like, you are really right. I never found that distinction, but they said to me that a person who has an entrepreneurial mindset, the language they use is less on this is happening, that is happening, the sky is falling type of conversations, and more on, okay, this is happening, what am I going to do? What can we do differently? How can we overcome this? How can we plan this? This is what's happening. What's the strategy? What do we have to do, change, adjust? And the conversations that they have tend to be more on that strategy and innovation, because their mind is, how do we overcome the challenges? We understand challenges happen. We're not, it's not that we're not worried or concerned or that we don't care, but the approach, again, is different. Their approach is, there's a mountain in front of us. We already decided, because we're entrepreneurs, we're not going to let that mountain stop us. So the mindset is, how are we going to get around this mountain? And those are the people who solve problems. Let me see if I can pan a little bit. Who are problem solvers, overcomers, and eventually the high achievers. And the reason I came to this, one of the things that came up that brought me to this, I hope it's not in my notes later, ACHIEVERS, is because sometimes we see people and we're like, oh wow, they're so amazing, they're so great, they're so successful. How do they do it? I want to be like them. Give me the goods, give me the tips. What is it that you're doing? What is it exactly you're doing? I need to know. And a lot of times the thing that separates the high achievers from the not so high achievers is just longevity. They've stuck it out through the high times, through the low times. They strategize, they innovate, they just hang on through a lot of the dark times. And a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this myself, I'm like, what is it that you're doing? What is the secret sauce? And then they'll tell you the things, and it's like, well, duh, I know you have to do that. Those are the things that I'm doing. Why are you having so much success when I'm not? And it's just because, it's literally because they've been around longer. They've been doing it longer. Sometimes because they've been doing it longer, they've honed it to the point where they're doing the same thing, but they just do it slightly better than the competition. And that's enough to give them an edge. Sometimes the edge that they have is just because they started doing it at an earlier time. So they're riding the wave from the forefront. They're always going to be ahead of the people behind. And I always say, you'll always hear me say this to the team when it comes to copying, or um, people who are like, do what I do just because I say it, or if you're relying on other people to produce an idea or a tool before, if you're always just waiting on someone else. Many of you here on the team, and those of you who do the trainings often, you know that I always say, be careful when you're waiting for someone else, because you will always be riding their coattails. The person who innovates is always at the forefront. It's much harder to catch up with the person who's in the lead, because that momentum and traction that they have is always going to keep them at the front. I was listening to a call. I like to do personal training because I'm an entrepreneur. That's that growth, personal development. So a lot of times you hear me talking about meetings and activities and events and trainings. That's a part of my role as an entrepreneur in this business, right? So I was listening to a training that I did back in 2018, I think. I remember where I was. I was at my office, at my desk, and I was listening to it. And Tony Robbins said, he always has these young guys coming up to him and saying, oh, in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to be just like you. I'm going to be where you are. I'm going to be doing all the things you do. And Tony Robbins was like, yeah, and at that time, you'll be doing the things that I used to do, because I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep innovating. I'm going to keep being at the forefront. So when you get to where I am now, I will be further ahead. And that statement resonated with me. And I was like, yeah, he's riding the wave. He's always going to be at the forefront. So the people who are copying him and trying to be like him, unless they start to innovate and create their own, they'll always just be chasing in the shadow. But I thought that was an interesting side note. So here are some things to keep in mind, right? Again, looking at your strategy. Do you have goals? If you are in this business with the entrepreneurial mindset, you want to see $1,000 plus every 2 weeks, every month, coming into your business. Entrepreneur is where you want to be. You want to be building a business. You're going to start looking for different strategies. And even just saying that to yourself is going to start to change your mindset, start to change your approach, start to change the words that you use, start to change how you engage with your customers, with your team, with other people, just how you talk about your business. And I always say be very careful because people are listening to how you talk about your business. Even when you're not paying attention. If you're in the sales and order taker section, it's going to change your mindset. It's going to change how you take in things. It's going to change what you participate in. I know the entrepreneurs, they're the ones I see all the time at the meetings. And like there are reps in this business who have been in this company longer than I've been alive. And I still see them at the meetings. And I'm like, not for nothing, but what is there that you don't know yet? What are you here to learn? And they're like, there's always innovation. There's always more to learn. I want to get out and I want to lead by example for my team. That was one of the things I learned very early on as a rep. I started to see Donovan Mitchell and Marie Benoit Wilcox and Lisa Wilbur and Molly Bibb and Linda Moniston. Saw them all the time at the meetings, local meetings, international meetings, virtual meetings. I kept seeing the same people. And as you grow, you'll start to realize you're seeing the same people too. You'll also notice that a lot of the people that you see over and over again are the same people whose names you start to see in recognition, right? So I talked about innovation. I don't know if I said solutions as well. Yes, sort of. SOLUTIONS. Finding ways to overcome the obstacle instead of allowing yourself to get stuck and mired down by obstacles and challenges, things that aren't working. Those are the people who find ways to capitalize on situations. And there's always this saying about, the saying that a lot of the top Fortune 500 companies were either created or they had their advance during a season that was either a recession or a season that was challenging. A lot of these old companies were built in times of like World War One or World War Two or a recession. Why? Because those are the people who innovated and found solutions. They are the ones who can find a way to capitalize on any situation. And we all know people like this. People who, no matter how bad things look, they somehow find a way to make something work. And then you're like, oh, wait, I could do that too. Hold on. Let me get on that bandwagon as well. But they are the innovators, the survivors who see it. I do have survivor on here somewhere too. Yes, let's put survivors. These are the people who don't give up. And I said they also put the time in personal development, growth, learning. And I'm not just talking attending our meeting or the Avon meetings. I mean all learning, the books, the meetings, EETINGS. Can you guys see my writing all the way at the corner? Yes, okay. The books, the meetings, listening to podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube videos. Most of what I learned, I hope you can read my chicken scratch. Most of what I learned about this business, the things that I share with you, whether it's about social media, leadership, entrepreneurship, it's not stuff that was taught to me through Avon. It's stuff that I learned either through watching YouTube videos or trainings. And what I'll often hear sometimes looking at these three categories again is people will say, oh, I don't have time to read or watch the YouTube videos or listen to the podcast. Well, then you really need to question, just being honest with yourself. Where are you in this place? If you don't make the time to grow your business, like I said, it's investing not just dollars, but the time. And a lot of times, especially for those, we're small businesses, more often than not, the time is the thing that we have the leverage. We may not have a lot of money to invest in hiring assistants and people to do research for us, buying all the books, or all the tools and resources, but we can invest the time. And if you're finding that you don't have the time to do the trainings or read the books or spend time learning and growing, you really want to question if you're in this entrepreneurship category. And if you're if you're putting yourself in a position to see the type of earnings that you expect, you know? So keep that in mind. Um, put time into learning and educating yourself. Um, and if that's not for you, then you simply just might want to reprioritize or reevaluate what category, which one of these three categories you're really in. Um, Also, if you're finding yourself in a position where you want to quit every time things get hard, just reality of it. I see it all the time. People who sign up, their account closes, and signs up and their account closes. I mean, not just one or two times, but like serial re-signer uppers, I call them. There are people who every year have to restart their account because it's closed. Why? Life got in the way. Life gets in the way every year. Life gets in the way every 6 months. But when you're in that position, you don't have that time to get that growth. Like I said, there are some people who are just so far ahead because they've invested the time, they've been around for a long time. When you have to start all over again, often it sets you back. Every time you go back to the beginning, you have to restart. New customers, new teammates, learning the things that you had to figure out, it puts you at a disadvantage. So the people who are in the entrepreneurial boat, these are not the people who are quitting and re-signing up every 5 minutes. That, quit and restart cycle is more for the customer reps and our order takers. Because if you're a customer, yeah, I'll sign up, I'll get my 20% discount, and then I don't need anything anymore. I'll be back next year. Oh, wait, I got a baby shower coming up. Let me sign up and get my 20% discount, right? So again, the mindset is different. So if you find yourself in a position where you'd rather quit when things get tough, again, reevaluate which one of these categories you're in. So as I said, your goal, your vision, first, think about what category you're really in. That's number one. And then we can move from there because the conversations we're going to have is going to be different depending on the category that you're in, right? No big deal. There was, most people know this saying, without a goal, the people perish. Without a vision, the people perish. Your goal is your vision.
Mm-mm.
Or is that Joyce? Joyce? Sorry, I let. What was that? I let?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm trying to wave my cat away.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. I thought you were saying no, no vision. Okay. So yes, without vision, people perish. And that is true on so many levels because that no goal, no vision mindset is basically a surefire way to burnout, frustration, ION, and disappointment. So you want to make sure that your goals and your vision are in alignment with what category you're in, with your expectations, so on and so forth. You want to make sure that they're clear, you know, and as much as possible, SMART goals. And you can Google this, but SMART goals mean specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And again, I've been there. I've been in this place where I kept setting goals, setting goals, setting goals, and getting frustrated that I wasn't achieving them. I felt like I was stuck. And I spent many years in that place, not just within my business, my Avon business, but even in my career. And I realized that my goals and my vision weren't in alignment with my purpose. They weren't clear. And sometimes I was pretty good about setting SMART goals, but when your goals aren't clear or in alignment, it's MENT. It's really difficult to pin down the SMART part of your goals, right? So that was a little bit of back burner mindset stuff. I just thought that it was really important to take some time and spend on these things because, as I'm seeing in the representative community, there isn't clarity. And I'm seeing a lot of people getting burnt out and frustrated or discouraged. And then once we ask the right questions and figure out what the real goal is, what the real vision is, what you really want out of your business, and where you are realistically, maybe this is just not the season in your life to be living the entrepreneur mindset. Again, that is okay, but you need to know for yourself where you are in that. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. So